Yo, today we are gonna be watching. He found out his friend was a predator. Now, if you don't know, Cenat, his cameraman, ChrisV, just turned out to be a predator because of some texts with a 17-year-old, I believe. So we're gonna get into it, see if we can find some more information on it. And I had to make sure I say cameraman because niggas are getting him confused with Chris, like the member of the AMP, the one that actually makes content. And that is life changing. Like y'all cannot be mixing those two up. If you don't know for sure, don't assume. Perfect quote. If you don't know for sure, don't assume.
Apparently, when you're talking about predators, apparently Chris is a name that is just super synonymous with it. And boy, oh boy, do we have more to fill in with you on Mr. B's former friend and former colleague, Chris Tyson. Wait.
Ooh, hey, Omar.
It's not that Chris?
It's not that Chris.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, her name is Ava anyway, so it's definitely not.
I keep
Chris.
getting it confused because like when they first became trans, didn't she have it as just Chris, just spelt different, like Kris? And why is it now Ava? I don't really get it, but it's like it's whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
Predators, of course, the name Chris Hansen runs.
Omar, we're talking about
Chris Hansen.
Oh, not that Chris either.
Okay.
Not catching the predators. It's not that Chris either.
Chris from AMP. Well, they say you never know who's living next door, so we got to talk about Chris next door and his predator.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Now, the situation.
See, like
Is not that complex.
I know this is a joke, but I'm saying like people were actually like thinking that it was him. It's crazy.
Wait, not that Chris either.
Take this right here.
Give me that. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so it was recently revealed that longtime friend and cameraman of Cenat, AMP, and the rest of the guys has been outed for texting some young girl some weird things. Now, the thread is pretty weird, but we got to go through it because it'll make sense towards the explanation. So we become privy to this information based off of the person who was actually involved, the minor, and I won't spread her information. She's already privated her tweets and stuff like that because, and I don't think people will, but she doesn't need any harassment. She started outing the messages between Cenat and some of the situations that were happening. She DM'd Cenat and it says, "Hi Kai, I recently seen a clip about you speaking on the Ava/Mr. B situation. I do want to let you know that Chris, your..."
When it rains, it pours. I promise you every time, in almost every situation, no matter if it's work, school, or cancellation, when it rains, it pours. Because of this Ava Chris situation, not only is Mr. Beast facing the outlash, but now Chris the cameraman, which he definitely should, is facing the outlash, which is making Cenat also face backlash because I'm going to assume that people are kind of like dragging him down with like, oh, you must have knew since you were his friend. It's so bad.
Cameraman is definitely a pedo too. I remember coming across him on Omegle TV while I was on Discord sharing my screen to my friends. They told me that his name is Chris and that he is AMP's cameraman. I said hi Chris, which got his attention because he was curious how I knew his name. He asked for my age. I lied, said 19 because my friends told me to, and I just went with it. He asked,
Don't be doing that. I know probably later on she tells her real age, but like that's a stupid thing to do in the first place. Don't lie about your age. I hate it when people say like, oh, I just want to mature. I'm not going to start yapping. Just know, lying about your age ain't going to get you anywhere except for being a victim. Simple as that.
for my Insta, I gave it. As soon as he DM'd me, I told him my real age because I know it's not really cool to lie about that. And from there, I thought he was going to stop answering. But then it led to him being down for 1v1s on COD, which I thought was fine. Later on, it turned out to him being flirtatious and texting me wild stuff you shouldn't say to a minor. During this time,
we got to know. I want to know what the cameraman Chris's age was, because I'm sick of niggas getting like kind of canceled when they're like 19 and the girl's like 17. People are gonna like debate this for sure, but honestly, I don't think that's that bad. That's a 2-year difference. Let's say that you're an older senior in high school. You're like 19, right? And then there's a younger senior in high school. Not even that. Let's say there's an older junior. And no, let's say that there's a regular junior. They're 17. You're just an older like senior. You're 19. I feel like it's just not that big of a deal when it's that close, you know what I'm saying? Now, if it's like 17 and like 24, that's a whole difference. There's a whole maturity gap in between there. But like 17 and 19, no, I don't really see the difference. Like I'd say I'm like past senior and I'm 17. I don't know if I should say my age on camera, but I just did. 17,
turned
I don't know.
17. I am now 19. This happened December 2021 through February/March 2022. I will gladly show you all the screenshots. I have to prove this. We also used to FaceTime. I remember there was a time he passed the phone to you and I was telling you that I could also beat you on a 1v1. I don't know if this helps you remember me. Now, these are some pretty damaging accusations for the cameraman.
Right.
And I will say that there are some conversations about the words that she's using, pedo is specifically, and the age of consent in these different areas, which in New York it's 17, in Georgia it's 16. So there's conversations there, but this is not me coming to defend him. I also want to point out the fact that
I just thought all around USA it was mostly just 18, but I don't know.
admit that she lied in this conversation, but as we will read the text messages, she did come out with the truth at some point. And we have the DMs here, and I'm only reading these to give just a little bit of backstory. Chris says, I wasn't kidding. I actually want to get to know you. LMFAO, you cool, but respectfully, I'm actually 17. My friends told me to say I'm 19, but you know, I actually gotta let you know the truth. Nah, that's crazy. I respect you telling me though. Yeah, I didn't want to do you like that. You cool though. Good vibes, LOL. And that's where you think the conversation would stop, right? I was actually serious though if you was 19, LOL. Now, doing some of my detective work in this conversation, I figured out that in 2021, Chris was about 21-ish. I think his birthday is the year 2000.
That's a little bit of a good age gap there. That's practically a senior and a freshman. People do it still, regardless, but I'm saying like it is definitely debatable.
So he's 21, she's 17. That would make for a 4-year age gap in either New York, which the legal age of consent is 17, or in Georgia, which the legal age is 16. Now, again, morally speaking, I don't think any of this is right. I think that that's crazy. I think that that's weird.
Yeah, truthfully, even if age of consent, let's say age of consent never existed, right? Like, we all know back in, like, whatever, like 100 years ago, there was 55-year-olds having relationships with 7-year-olds, right? But I feel like still nowadays, with people more like aware of like situations and like people, and like they actually know how other people kind of live and feel, I feel like even without an age of consent, people would still find stuff wrong. Like, even if the age of consent wasn't 18, let's say there was an age of consent, it was like 2, right? You wouldn't think that a 21-year-old and a 2-year-old is okay, you know what I'm saying? It'd still be argued. I'm yapping a lot, I ain't gonna lie.
I won't go into detail on that because I know how y'all feel about any sort of credibility towards any sort of person like this. This is weird. This is disgusting behavior, especially when you go through the other text messages, because these are just seemingly harmless text messages about gaming and stuff like that. Although he probably should have stopped talking to her a long time ago. Those things might be okay. What happens in the iMessage text is where it's totally across the line. In those iMessage text chats, Chris decides to take things up to a different notch. He decides to get sexual with this young lady, and there's text messages that are either A, missing because they may have been deleted, or B, Chris was on some real hornball time because it just looks like him texting and no response. Quote, like, I could just imagine rubbing my peen on your cat. I'll put my whole peen down your throat right.
It was most definitely past 12 o'clock. Let's be real. A nigga doesn't get that horny until it's past 12. Let's keep it above.
Right now. Just pick up your...
And yeah, I feel like there had to be like messages in between, because there's no way a nigga sent some freaky shit like, oh man, I want to stick my dick down your throat. Well, I probably shouldn't have said that, but you know what I'm saying. There's no way someone says something freaky like that, waits a couple minutes, picks back up the phone. Let me say something else just to spice it up again, even though she hasn't responded. You can tell that there was time in between it because the texts are spaced out. So there had, unless he's just one awkward ass nigga, which he's obviously a pedophile, but still, even if, like, unless he was an awkward ass nigga, there's no way he waited minutes to just get freaky. Like, you kind of have to say that shit all out, like, within about a minute.
Leg and put you in your side and just slowly F you while I choke you. No joke, my peen hard as fuck right now just for you. I'm so effing hard, WTF. What you going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean, why would he say that? F you? It was either they were on call and she was talking and he was texting, or she was texting and she deleted the text. But that text really does not. Now that I think about it, that text looks terrible. What are you going to do about it? Imagine if she said, no, I'm too young. You're not doing anything to me. What are you going to do about it? Get this nigga out of here. I don't want to hear a damn thing now. This nigga is done for.
right now, coochie probably dumb wet. Is it? And there seems to be some videos. I don't know what those videos could possibly be. This is totally out of pocket, totally out of disgust. I mean, I don't even really know what to say right now. Now, I do want to say, of course, Omegle and Monkey and all these little random chat generated websites we've seen in the past are totally disgusting in my opinion. Not necessarily because the direct idea of what the platform is, random people meeting random things, but we've seen in the past where people have just totally done disgusting things or acts on these platforms, specifically knowing that they will be able to find minors on there and they use it as stream content.
A Stizzy or a vape?
Oh, Aiden.
It's a your mom.
Listen to me. Your guys' combined weight is 600 pounds.
And what's strange is people go on
Okay,
there.
I thought he was gonna use an example of like Riot or something, not Aiden. If you haven't seen what Riot did, go check a video from like a couple months ago, I think. My video.
For stream content, knowing that they'll find minors and then put them in these semi-sexual situations or completely go racist or whatever the case may be on the platform. And they do this even though they are told that they are a minor at the time while being on the platform. Now, what I think the real freaked out conversation is I don't think Chris was streaming at the time, so why was he just on Omegle or on Monkey just for the fuck of it? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I know Chris deep down inside, and I know
to be honest, I've never thought about getting on Omegle or Monkey just for the hell of it, you know what I'm saying? I've never thought about doing that. I feel like if I was ever to get on one of those sites, it would have to be me recording. Because I feel like if I get on there just to be on there, I don't know, that feels like cringe as fuck. I don't know. It just feels like I wouldn't do something like that. Like, I'm not just trying to sit here and chat to random strangers through a video call. That's just weird as hell, especially if I pull up on a dick. Fuck no. The app's getting deleted immediately. I'm probably going to turn my phone off and take the battery out. Don't know how you can do it off iPhones, but shit is happening. Because hell no, I'm not doing that without like just recording or at least getting something out of it.
Person or whatever the case may be, but the actions are deplorable. I never knew that would be something that he would do or go down that path, but that's not something that I align with. It's disgusting and it's disheartening to know that somebody that you know is like that and does things in that nature, but you can't put anything past anybody at this point.
That's true. Yo, agent, there's info going on about your friend. This is some very sick things to do knowing she was underage. Please get in contact ASAP.
Now, there's probably some conversation as to how things were handled in this situation. I don't know if I agree that this young lady should be reprimanded or killed on the internet for this because ultimately she is young. But what I know about situations like this is something that we'll get to in Kai's statement about this situation is that they always get tied into these things. What I mean by that is the entertainer, the celebrity, the athlete, the politician will always be tied into the people that they employ when they do stuff outside of work that is detrimental to the
I feel like some people be blaming people, like blaming celebrities as if they're not human. It's like sometimes people look at celebrities like they're not like superhuman, like they know everything. But if your friend turned out to be like a murderer or an R-warder, you don't expect anybody to come to you like, oh man, you must have knew, didn't you? No, because why are you expected to know? Why are they expected to know? Especially when it's someone like Cenat, it's like he streams like every day. I doubt that he knew that his friend was doing weird stuff. You know, he doesn't have time for that. I don't know. It just seems weird for someone to immediately accuse him. Now, if proof came out that they obviously knew, then yeah, we probably are gonna assume that he knew. But like, don't just accuse somebody of that immediately without knowing anything about the entire situation with them and their friend. It's just weird.
The workplace. They'll ruin your name. And ultimately, it's no fault of the content creator that they have certain people in their circle that do certain things. Granted, I may be a part of the birds of a feather flock together community, but to be honest with you, I don't think that that's this situation now. I don't think that that's the situation from Kai in the past with the New York Eve situation. I don't think that this is the same situation of the woman who came and took pictures when he was, you know, having sex with her and she was extorting him. Like, I don't think any of those situations should be an indictment as to who he is. And especially because their brand is getting bigger and bigger, they're getting more recognizable by friends, families, and just the mainstream media as a whole, household names, if you will. People will be quick to tie those people into the situation and slander their name. Just look at what Complex did. Complex literally put out an article about this situation and decided to not put the right Chris in the conversation. It's strange because they'll literally show a picture of Chris next door, AMP member, and then in the summary they'll talk about ChrisV, the damn cameraman. What are we doing here?
ChrisV,
Just
aka Chris Next Door, has got to be the most wildest shit. I would honestly shut down the internet. I would find some type of fucking way to just delete the internet. If somebody put up a complete pedophile, a PDF file, and then put AKA my name, it's over. It's over. I don't know what I'd do with myself, bro. I'd probably give up. I don't know. That is crazy.
They'll talk about ChrisV, the damn cameraman. Like, what are we doing here? Just to be first, it's crazy. I'm glad Chris Next Door addressed it and said, yo, take this down. What are we doing right now? And also, with that being said, we forget about the human element of things, the way that these people feel in these very vulnerable situations in which their trust was betrayed. And that brings us to Cenat addressing the whole situation.
In 2021, just got caught talking to a minor who was 17 years old, and it's just fucking annoying when shit happen and shit come up fucking name every time, bro. I get connected in situations. Come relax, bro. Nigga, it gets bad because she lied about her age. She ended up saying her age, said she was 17, right? At that moment, you're
honestly, it is so bad for like PDF files right now. Not only are they getting beat on the streets just for them liking kids, you know, like that's weird as shit. Like they're getting beat on the streets for this, but they're also getting exposed and tearing down their friends, the people that they saw as friends' reputations. You know what I'm saying? Like they're out here, not only are you getting caught, which is already like, dang, like I'm really suffering for the, like for my actions and stuff. But then your friend's going down with you and your friends look at you like, bro, like you just kind of destroyed both of our reputations. And you just have to accept that, like, damn, like my actions not only affected me, like it actually shows like your actions aren't only affecting you, it's affecting others as well. And it's just, I mean, shit, like as long as the people who are innocent come out on top and truth shows itself in the end, good. But those people who are liking kids and stuff, you get what you deserve. You should feel ashamed of yourself, not only for liking the kid, but also bringing other people into it, you know?
Stop texting. I just woke up. I seen this shit hit the internet. I looked at it. First thing I did was say, hey, let me sit down and let me get down to the bottom of this to completely confirm everything.
Now, while we're here, I do want to address some things. I've been seeing some commentary on the internet talking about the way that these young guys go about doing their public addressing. And mind you, we could all talk about how people should have media training and they should probably do things in a more proper way. But as Kai talks about later on, this is a real authentic way that he feels. You can see that he's almost brought to tears and eventually will be brought to tears in the situation because this is his friend. This is somebody who's been with him for a long time. I personally remember when Chris came around. It was when we did the first AMP ghost camping trip. And since that moment, when he came in as just a cameraman who was supposed to take pictures, he naturally picked up a camera, started recording, and I can remember vividly Phantom, Agent, everybody telling me this guy needs to be here 24/7. So we made it a point for him to be here. Chris was flying in and out of New York and then ultimately made the decision to move to Atlanta, Georgia, move into the AMP house, to be in the house 24/7. And from there, he became Kai's permanent cameraman. And personally, when I was around, we did shoots together all the time. Like wherever Kai was, Chris was right there with the camera. So this is somebody who is there through every single moment. You can take a snapshot from here and go back 2-3 years, and every single moment that Kai has been through, Chris has been right there. So these are real emotions.
Damn.
So yeah, it might not sound the best that he's not directly addressing, hey, this person is a victim in this situation, and starting off with his tears and how this affects him personally, but that's how he really feels. Yeah, it is messed up that every time his friends, colleagues, coworkers, or whatever,
I mean, to be honest, he shouldn't be expected to come on recording and like be all sad for the victim. Like, yeah, the shit sucks for the victim, and we all hope that the victim gets what they deserve, like they're able to get justice in the end of all this. But like, obviously his message isn't to like, you know, like kind of like feel for the victim. It's to show everybody like, man, like you guys can't just be bringing my name into random stuff that really does not involve me, you know? Like, it just destroys people, destroys reputations. Like, imagine hearing the news as like a family member of Cenat, and you're just like, man, what the fuck? Your friend did this? Like, were you in on it? Like, you know how weird that would feel if your family member thought that you were a part of some heinous scheme. You know, it just wouldn't be cool. You know, you'd be
Get into
pissed.
some sort of situation, he gets drugged through the mud. This is authentic though.
I reached out to the person who went online and did all the other shit. She basically, she showed me every single thing. I asked her to confirm the iMessage, to confirm the number. It's confirmed. And I'm just sick and tired of having to do shit like this. Because it's like, damn, my nigga, like, somebody who helped me start my whole shit.
I do feel sympathy for you, Kai, because ultimately when you got the cameraman, it took things to a whole nother step. And honestly, this wasn't even something that I think was necessarily planned out. It was literally the idea that he was supposed to come take pictures, and then it transitioned to a whole nother groundbreaking thing. I know you guys have been all over the world, but even in the short time that I was there, we went all over Georgia making videos, and it hurts to have somebody who is so near and dear to you see the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, just turn out to be somebody that you can't trust. And I do want to say this too. This is a little bit different than any other situation out there for any normal celebrity or mainstream person. Usually if a celebrity's assistant, worker, you know, or camera person or whatever gets caught up, it is what it is, because that person is like a 1099 employee that has no relationship. But in the world of streaming, everybody has these super close relationships. Most of the times these are friends from like the same block. You can see that with Davo and Duke. They are literally brothers. You can see that with Agent and Waleed. Those are literally cousins that have come.
That shit is actually crazy to me. Like how you can like look at a lot of YouTubers, watch them and stuff, and you won't even realize the fact that they're related to like some other famous YouTuber. Honestly, if anything, it gives like hope to like smaller creators. Like shit, if their sibling could just make it up and they weren't like shouting out each other, it's just the fact that they just did what they had to do. That's just crazy to me. Like there's a lot of family on YouTube. Like it would surprise you. Like your famous creator probably has another family member who is pretty successful on YouTube as well. You know what I'm saying?
Together to work on these different projects. And there are many more content creators who are just like that, where their brother or their cousin or their sister or whatever is helping them get from the ground up to where they are. So no, this isn't just a situation where a cameraman gets fired. This is a situation where a friend gets fired. This is a situation where a brother gets fired. This is a situation where somebody that is close to you betrays
Damn, I know I'm yapping, but like you have to, I was thinking like, this is things that people also have to take into account for every situation, with the Mr. Beast situation and this situation. It's like, it's hitting everybody hard. It's not only hitting the fans hard, like, damn, this person's disgusting, yada, yada. You have to fire him, yada, yada. But you also have to put yourself in their shoes, like, damn, like, this is a close friend to me. Like, this was somebody that I used to eat non-cooked ramen with and shit. Like, this isn't something that's just like, oh, you're fired, sorry, you're gone. You know, like, this is you actually losing a friendship, and it's going to be hard at the time. So that's why I don't really like mess with people expecting immediate response, expecting immediate action. It's like, give them some time to like at least take it in, like, damn, like my friend's going to have to go. My long friend is going to have to get fired. You know, it's something that people need to start putting in their minds more than just the fact like, oh, this celebrity just got exposed for this, you better get rid of him right this instant. Like, calm down. Let them go through the emotions of losing a friend first, you know?
Your trust and the fact that you have to cut them off is bigger than somebody putting the camera down and we having to retrain them. It's finding somebody who has been there with you till 3 in the morning, till 2 in the afternoon, from thick to thin and anything in between. And I do think that it is jacked up when we as a society take this situation of, oh, this person did this bad thing, and because they are closely adjacent to this person, we automatically put the label on that person or have to get some sort of response from that person. It's a jacked up place to be in, but it is the price of fame. It's disgusting. Something that you ultimately signed up for, I guess. I don't know. I hate it.
I've met Chris hella times. Super nice to me. Chris and I are very cool. I'm not defending him if this is true or not. Twitter nowadays is like, it could be Scuba Ryan, Fear Buck, or just any of these pages. They could post something and then everyone will just fucking believe it. It's like, you don't even—
I know, I see that too. Like, if you go on Instagram, especially Fear Buck, I see that nigga all the time for some reason. But it'll be something that can be completely, like, untrue. Like, it's been completely, like, eradicated by the creator. Like, oh, this isn't true, why would this be true? Gives proof and everything. Doesn't matter. Those spam accounts are gonna post it, and everybody that's just ignorant and decides to stay ignorant will just believe it and run with it. And then you'll see them in comments like, don't forget when he did this. Bro, they didn't do that. Like, that was disproven like about 11 months ago, you know?
Look through it anymore. All I'm saying is, let Kai, let Chris, let something come out before you guys just want to point fingers, be like, pedophile. If he's a pedophile, I'm sure Kai will fire him, never talk to him ever again.
Now, before we get out of here, I do want to touch on what Aiden was saying, is that I agree that it is crazy that some of these internet sites, blog sites or whatever, will just go out there and blast whatever information they get via DM. The fact they have nothing to substantiate their claims and people run with it is kind of crazy to me, only because in 2024, people are on a witch hunt for these predators already.
That's what these spam accounts, I was low-key thinking about this the other day. I was thinking like, man, why isn't there more just spam accounts that just simply research it and then tell the truth? Then I thought about it. They're not going to get fame. They're not going to get money off of those accounts if they're late to the action, you know? Like, yeah, you can take the time to research it, be completely truthful with it. This is what happened. This is exactly how it went down. Here's the evidence for this and that. Like, I would love to see that more. But the fact is, there's still always going to be that one account that's posting it immediately. As soon as the news is dropped, post immediately. No evidence, no proof. This is just a claim. And now people are going to run with it. And because you're taking the time to research and everything and find out the truth, you're getting left behind. You're getting left behind in the dust. You're going to post something. Everybody's going to see it and be like, man, we already heard about this situation. Swipe, scroll, you're gone. You know, it just sucks because people who want to be truthful, people who want to like do the right thing and like actually find out the truth aren't going to get credit for that, because there's always going to be a spam account that just releases lies and people are going to run with it because it's like, shit, I just saw this. It already happened. I already know about it now. There's no point in me looking at any other post about it, you know? It's just weird.
What I'll say is I am glad that the kids have the confidence to go out and say what they need to say. You know, this is their truth, this is their story, and it's theirs to be told however they want to tell it. Now, everybody has to face the consequences and backlashes of it, but this is just a total slippery slope, nasty situation, and honestly, I don't want anything else to do with it. It's 2024, and we are making sure that we get these people who operate with predatory behaviors, nasty actions, get up out of here. We pack them up, we deal with them accordingly. It just seems like everybody hates Chris right now, and I hate it had to be him.
Funny pun, but I'm just kidding. Yeah, like I said, when it rains, it pours, and that can be for good or bad. When it rains, it pours. As soon as like the whole Ava Chris situation came out, stuff about Mr. Beast being like racist, homosexual, not homosexual, homophobic, all that came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, when it rains, it pours. But it's also good because when it pours, more people are able to come out and like admit things like this. Like a whole victim was able to come out and like feel comfortable.
Update regarding the Mr. Beast situation.
No, I'm not watching that. But yeah, it's good when it pours as well because victims are able to come out and feel comfortable saying all this, because no one was going to believe them when the person they're talking about was striving right now. You know, nobody would believe. Like if somebody came out and said, hey, this big creator did nasty things to me when they are like on their generational run, nobody's gonna believe them. They're gonna be like, man, no, like you don't have enough proof, yada yada. They're gonna say this, that, and the third. But when like it's already coming down for that creator, like, oh, this creator did this, then somebody speaks out about what happened to them, people are gonna believe it more. And that's why it's good, but at the same time it also be bad. I've been yapping a lot this video. I just hope y'all enjoyed. Love y'all. Peace.